I say life. I say life. I say new life. My associations are all good. Obviously there's bad change, but perhaps in light of where we are in the world, in this nation, and in my community, but I say life and new life. So the associations with change would be everything good, or at least what I'd consider to be good, meaning putting off the old way of doing things with, well, specifically with our government, the old way of looking at the world. I'm really involved with sustainable living, and so when I think of change, I think of old ways that have not worked and that have put our communities, consequently our globe, in a bad place, in a hurting place, in a disadvantaged place. So I really attribute, change in regards to sustainable living. At least, I think of, well, we'll call it so cliche, but living green, and how to be a better steward of our natural resources. Politically, change, it's just kind of a big overhaul. All that was with the party that was in office being gone, all in quotes, because not everything is bad. Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, but I'll have to say at least there were a few big ticket things, i.e. our war. Another thing would be, how we define marriage in this country, and rights, and insurance rights, and partner rights, and all those things. Those are what I'd call big ticket items. There's a lot of change in regard to those things. Good change. So the general sense is good, new life, off the old and on with something new. I will have to say my experience though, is like, though I was rooting for change, I think, I don't think anyone, but I don't think I even know or had known what it would do to me. Like, I've got to change. Just because I want something doesn't mean that, oh, I'm so ready for it when I'm actually in it or experiencing it. Like, my ways of thinking are evolving and changing, maybe even being inconvenienced, so that the greater can contribute. Specifically, we'll talk again about sustainable living. How much I drive, or do I drive, where I buy my produce, being concerned about how far away my produce has been shipped from, talking about carbon in the air, etc. So really, taking, buying produce from markets as opposed to always a supermarket, bring my own containers to fill with honey, etc., and reusing those as opposed to always buying new containers, going to the restaurant and bringing Tupperware if I'm going to do take home, as opposed to more cardboard boxes and plastic. So in the past, I said, oh yeah, it sounds like I want it, but actually experiencing the change of being in it, I'm realizing, there's some skin in the game that you're going to have to put in ways that I didn't know because I wasn't actually in it. At one point, it was more of a theory or philosophy or a good idea. But now it's like, okay, now the work's coming due. So good change, new life, essentially was your question, is what it means, and that's what it means to me, so far.